I know there is a lot of Americans that are actually struggling out there, with finding work. Either you were laid off by the government recently, or you were just recently laid off by your job, or you're looking for another job. I want to go over a couple of ways you can find work. And these actually had worked for me. I'm going to go over those. So I don't physically read a newspaper. I haven't looked in the career section of the newspaper, and God knows I can't even tell you how long. The only time I use the newspaper, in all honesty, is when I get a flyer in the mail for a sale at a retail store. That's about it. But when I was doing my job hunting, and I thought about this because of everybody being laid off, I thought, why not make a video to try and help somebody else? That's part of what I like to do. If I want to help you grow your YouTube channel, I'm going to try and share the best tips and tricks that I know of. And why not throw jobs in there as well? Career hunting, whether you're looking to change your career or you're looking to find work because you're laid off. So one of the tips I can give you is try using monster.com. Now, I know there's a paid section of monster.com, and I did have a couple of responses back from monster.com, that wanted to interview me, but keep in mind, know your net worth, because, different companies, especially monster.com, it's not necessarily the website itself, but the job hunters, the headhunters, if you will, they will try and undercut you. They might give you, they might try and give you a job for $20,000 or $30,000 less. So make sure you know your net worth before you even upload your resume to monster.com. Make sure you know how valuable you are and don't let them undercut you. Now, I'm not saying $20,000 to $30,000 for a salary is bad, right? If you're just starting out, and that's what kind of money you're making based on your career and your skills, that is fine. But make sure you are worth the $20,000 or $30,000 that you should be paid, because they will try and undercut you, and of course these headhunters, especially if it's a company that's hiring a company, a headhunter to go out and find work, they'll take a cut of it and they'll be like, oh, I got this, so-and-so for a lot cheaper than what you had your post for, because you really might not know what that post is going to be about. They might say up to this amount, right? But it doesn't mean they're going to get that amount. It might be up to $30,000. That doesn't mean you're going to get $30,000. Trust me. They might try and come in at like $20,000, right? That's a win-win for the company because they posted it for 30, but if they can get you for 20, they're going to hire you for $20,000. Trust me. I've tried to companies tried to undercut me many times. So make sure you know your net worth, know your skills, know your value before you upload to any of the things I'm going to mention to you. Okay. You can try another website you can try is Career Builder. I had a couple of responses on Career Builder, but it really wasn't as good as I thought it was. Maybe back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago, Career Builder was a hot spot, to look for jobs, other than using monster.com, because they kind of, I guess they're maybe competitors of each other. I'm not really sure. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe it's the same company. I have no idea. But Career Builder, unless you pay for the different tiers, same thing with monster.com, you might get what you pay for. Maybe they'll push your resume, your skills on the companies more if you pay for it. They always say, you get what you pay for, if you will. That could be one of those type deals where, if you pay into monster.com and you pay into Career Builder, I don't even know if they're still around. I'm pretty sure that Monster's still around. I'm sure Career Builder's still around, but I don't know really what you're going to get with those free tiers anymore, right? But one of the website I'm about to mention is a website that I'm sure we all heard of, and it might not be for everybody, but this website really helped me change careers. I'd say within 3 months after looking nonstop, this website was able to help me find a better job, a better paying job, a remote job, if you will. And that website is called LinkedIn. It might not be for everybody. You can gain connections, whether it's, somebody like fellow colleagues that you already know, that you already had worked with, somebody that you're currently working with. But I have to say, LinkedIn has a really, really good job section. I uploaded my resume and I was getting calls nonstop. I was, getting interviews set up nonstop. And these were over the phone interviews, right? These weren't in-person interviews. These were over the phone where they didn't even see who you were. It was just audio. Because the current job that I'm working for, I dressed up because I didn't know. I had a shirt, a tie on. I thought I was going to go video. And she's like, nope, no video. I'm like, wow. Like, I was surprised. Like, they don't even see who you are. Now, maybe that's a type of, a new thing now where they don't stereotype, because if you stereotype somebody, you can be considered bias and you can run into an HR issue, if you will. And I know a lot of companies don't want to go into any HR issues because if you do certain things, I actually had interviewed, when I worked for my banking job, I was a team lead and I helped interview new hires. And there's a lot of things you can and can't do when you interview somebody, a candidate for a job rather, right? You'll find out fast. I actually had to read a book and take a test before I was able to interview on my own. And I actually had to sit with the owner of the company to make sure I conducted those interviews correctly, right? But that's another story. Maybe I'll make another video about that. I don't even know. But I want to let you know that LinkedIn is a very, very good site. I'm not sponsored by LinkedIn, so this isn't a special video to put LinkedIn on blast, but I'm just here to tell you that if you're laid off or, currently looking to expand your career, broaden your horizons, in your skill set, try LinkedIn. You'd be very surprised. Now, you want to make sure you're careful on who you give your information to, whether it's Monster, Career Builder, LinkedIn, whoever, because I received quite a list of creepy messages from headhunters that wanted my information. I see you work for so-and-so, but I think we can do better for you. Send me your resume. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not just going to send anybody my resume. Why? Because my resume has my name, my address. I mean, my LinkedIn has my name, but it has my email address, my home address. It has either my current employer and all my previous employment history. You want to make sure you are not sharing that with just anyone. Trust me, because you could send them that information and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we'll keep your information on file, or sorry, so-and-so, we're not interested. So you want to make sure you do your due diligence. What I do is I go through and I start Googling the company names. Like the company I work for, I've heard of it, but I really wasn't sure the name of the company, or, really wasn't well known to me in my banking world. My banking world is like JP Morgan, right? JP Morgan Chase. It's, US Bank, companies like that. So when I heard mine, I was a little skeptical and I went and Googled it and I saw they were a huge asset management company, right? So I was like, wow, okay, this is legit. So you want to make sure you do your due diligence and make sure the company is legit. You just want to give your information just to anybody. I actually had somebody reach out to me the other day and said, I see your skill sets, and I really think, my employer wants to talk to you, right? And they said, it's a part-time job. I'm like, part-time? I said, I'm full-time. And they said, well, it's part-time remote. And I said, no, no. I'm happy where I'm at. And I would need a full-time job. And it was an assistant, like an assistant administrator. Well, I'm a banking loan servicing officer. I'm not, to be an assistant, in my case, in my expertise, in my skill set, for me would be, quite a few steps back, right? Now, you want to make sure that you know that as well. You want to make sure, again, you want to know your net worth, and you want to make sure you go into it knowing what you should be getting, hourly, yearly, weekly, bi-weekly. You just really want to make sure you know what you're talking about because they will try and undercut you. All right. Well, I just wanted to shoot this video again because I know a lot of Americans are struggling right now. Again, either laid off by the government, laid off by your company for whatever reason, could have been fired, right? You could be changing your careers. I just wanted to shoot this video to try and help you out. If you liked the video, if you found it valuable, if you found any information out of this, please help me push this video. Give that thumbs up. As always, you know what to do. Later.